program with music and the truth till dawn. Right now, we've got a few words from some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the Daily Gun Show. Sorry, I have trouble doing two things at once.
Our new host joining us today, formerly known as Smeggy, is doing his best to step on into those big shoes left by G-Webs.
Yeah, although G-Webs is here, so he could do it.
Yeah, is my audio working?
Yeah, you sound fine.
It is now.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern, approximately, or 4 p.m. Pacific, for about an hour and 90 minutes each day. We go over 3 gun-related topics, different topics throughout the week. We run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over on Gun Channels, and we're occasionally going to post the audio on iTunes again as a podcast. So we thank anybody who wants to leave us some feedback, whether you're listening now or in the future. We encourage it. We hope that it lets us know where you all are and helps the show get recommended to more listeners, and that is one of our goals. So we do appreciate that. We have 4 hosts. Everybody's here today. We got Bob jumping in from Canada.
Hey, glad to be here.
And that brings us to Daniel coming in from Illinois.
Glad to be here.
He's not here, I guess.
What do you mean he's not here? I'm right here. Can't you hear me?
No, now we can. And then Smeggy's down in, up in Michigan.
Hey, how's everyone doing today?
And then I am in, is that working? Las Vegas, New Mexico. Today.
Very cool. On the road.
Are you wrestling off some locals there? I just hear a lot of noise.
You didn't see that?
Well, I just saw a snippet of something. I didn't know if you had some banditos on your tail.
Well, for people that have seen the movie Red Dawn, that's symbolic of the movie Red Dawn.
Yes.
Well, it's just ever so slightly pixelated.
Or it could just street to where the guys go in and buy toothbrushes, and the communist guy is walking around upstairs. That's that building right there. Or we could go to where they blew up a building, which is on that corner. They put a facade up here, blew that building up.
Did you hear what I mentioned about the audio or the video?
Yeah. It's
what do you want me to do?
If
video?
He turns it up more, Dano, that's probably going to, kind of take his bandwidth.
I just want to make sure he knows.
So anyway.
So speaking of things that are new, either today, either personally or on a national level or a state level, G-Webs, do you want to do your thing in your gear vlog, or do you just want to give us a little summary here?
I don't know. Am my audio working or no?
Yeah, it's working fine. Daniel's the only one that seems to be having a problem.
Was it working when I turned on the camera and show the town that Red Dawn was filmed in?
Yeah, it's slightly pixelated. So like I can see only part of the picture. I'm just letting you know that.
Anyhow, I'm in Las Vegas, New Mexico. This is where they filmed Red Dawn. It's the 33rd anniversary of the day the movie came out. And we can go down.
Yeah, it looks fine. It's a tad bit grainy, but I mean that's just got to do with bandwidth issues. So
can we deal?
All that hate's gonna burn you up, kid.
So does the local town have a special thing for today?
Well, I don't care too much about Red Dawn. They left that up, but most of the people here I've ever talked to don't know anything about Red Dawn. A couple of people I've talked to, I've read about online, knew about it, but I've never met any of those people to talk to us about it.
So, did anything happen overnight? Gun related?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, gun related, we are not yet at war with North Korea. Yet. So that's good. Because war is bad.
Yes,
But no, I'm not aware of anything.
it's just North.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure of anything that happened overnight. I wasn't really in any of the chats after the Daily Show. So as far as that goes, I don't really know what happened, and yeah, I didn't see anything gun related as far as the news goes.
So we want to go ahead and start the show?
I think we can do that. Oh, let's see. What's our first topic here for the day? I know G's on the phone, so I'll try and fill in a little bit. So first topic today is CCW. And it's a question, what kind of CCW sites? So, what kind of sites do you guys use on your CCW?
Well, do we want to at least start with an overall view of basically the common sites that are basically available?
Sure. What are some of the common sites available?
Like a gutter site, a very old school kind of site for concealed carry. Another is notch and post. Another older type sighting system. Then we've got variations of what's typically called the 3-dot sites. That's another one that's fairly common. But at that point is when we start to get into the potential of night sites, as well as the potential of fiber optic sites that can pick up and amplify that front or rear sights, depending on what you want. Then, of course, there's the infamous Glock bucket and ball sights. And then there's one, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It's got like a V at the rear. And I forget if it's a ball at the front or not.
Are you talking about the big dot? Big dot site?
No. But that's a good one to mention, is kind of like the lollipop, where you take the ball and you put it on top of the stick. That's another one. And of course, all of these come with or without tritium vials. Some of them also have the option of having fiber optics involved. You guys or the audience have we have a,
just ignore them. So anyways, yeah, I have a set of night sights that's got the tritium inserts, and I like that. I mean, during the day, they're just, there's white paint around it, so it's just like 3 white dots, and then at night is when you can see the tritium starting to glow. So I personally like that because of, you never know when you might need it, and if it happens to be low light, then you can still pick up your sights. So that's what I personally go with for CCW, is some type of night sight.
Yeah. In regards to CCW for myself, I guess my number one thing is that I want something that's going to work day or night, so some combination of a tritium and either a high visibility white, or something that's going to be very visible during the daytime, because if that 1% of the 1% chance does happen, you never know at what point during the day that might indeed happen, whether it be daytime, nighttime, or somewhere in between. So I want my sights to be able to function as sights 24/7. So now, as far as the type of sights beyond that, it's more like what's your favorite color, in my opinion. Some people like basic notch, notch and post. Some people are fine with the 3 dots. Some people like the lollipop or the big dot type sights. So what do you guys think in regards to the 2 aspects? One is whether it has night sight capability or not, and whether that's something that you would absolutely want to have in your sights. And 2 is, and then what form? Being
all right, does my audio work?
Yep.
It does now.
Is it working?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So we're breaking in. That's the park where they filmed Jed getting killed at the end on a park bench. Except it's way over there and not anywhere near the train tracks.
Okay, that's interesting.
So Smeg, did you say what form?
Over and over again. I'm talking about right now. I don't know. I like sights, they're fine, and then otherwise I like Meprolites, which are 3 dots, a channel in the back, and then 3 dots. Your interface, it's your physical interface with the gun. So our hands are different, our waists are different for holsters. Why wouldn't our eyes be different for sights?
Right. And I agree with that as far as I hate to say like favorite color because it's more important than that. But yeah, what's going to work for me is different than what's going to work for somebody else.
Right, and that's the fact you say, it's different for other people is, Cave Dave out there on YouTube saying, I have true glows on my EDC, but I'm thinking of getting big dots. And Artisan Tony just said, I just took my big dots off because I don't like them. And I know over on Gun Channels, Moon was saying that he does not prefer big dots, only he said it a little more crudely. But yeah, so some people like that and some people don't. I guess the idea is that you get faster target acquisition because they're so big, but then other people don't like it because you can't be as precise because the dot's so big. So it's kind of like close enough, but you're not really getting, a really good sight picture or whatever. I don't know. I haven't actually used big dots, so I'm not sure. I like the night sight capability of it. So I would definitely want some type of night sight. One of the things I'm interested in, I forget the company, but they will have a fiber optic front sight, which is great during the day, but then at night it needs some type of light source. They actually put a piece of tritium like underneath it that then shines up into the fiber optic, so it's like a night sight and fiber optic, and I think that's pretty neat as far as being able to pick up very quickly.
Yeah, I just
where they go to the Chinese American Friendship Center and it gets blown up. That's right where I'm standing, where the cameras were. She walks across the street over here. It all looked like a battle scene or whatever. That's the corner building that got blown up. And they were going to demolish that building anyway, so they let them blow it up for the movie.
Well, that's very cool. That is a good scene, too. They're like, hey, I want to join the communists. Oh, just kidding. Kaboom.
Yeah. But I recently just put a pair of big dots on my Glock 43 a day after, or not, no, excuse me. I ordered them a day before I saw a video that Artisan Tony put out. So just by happenstance, I happened to see and also, kind of learned from his video what to do and what not to do, so to speak. And I have not yet taken that particular firearm to the range, so it's yet to prove itself. But what you got there, G-Webs?
Nothing. I'm just saying there's 2 gun shops that she looks down at right on the street.
That's cool.
Yeah, they weren't
in. But I have TrueGlow TFOs on 2 Glocks, my Glock 26 and my Glock 19, and then my recently installed big dots that I put on my Glock 43 And the reason I put them on there is not necessarily because they're better or anything. It just they had the original sights on there. And as I mentioned, I absolutely want some sort of night sights on my concealed carry weapons, regardless of what shape they are.
All right, now breaking in again. So this building looks kind of familiar, but then they took the sign and kept it right here. So this is the, what is it, like a, I guess, drugstore, except now it's a bank. We go in here. You can see the walkway up there. The convenience store where they go in to buy toothbrushes, and she's like, "You guys got to get out of town."
Yeah.
All right, that's everything I can walk to.
All right, so you're heading back to the van? Gotcha. So anything else on what kind of CCW sites for today's subject? Granted, there's a lot we didn't necessarily talk about. It's really more a matter of talking points and to get you thinking about your own CCW sites and what you might like to try, or are you happy with what you have? So.
Right, exactly.
Snaggy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I was just gonna let you give you the baton.
All right, yeah. I mean, that's the, like I said, as far as just wrapping this up, I personally think that night sights are a big factor for CCW, so that's like number one, and then kind of like what Dana was saying, and just go from there as far as what's available and whatnot. But it is somewhat personal preference. So maybe if you got some people that have like some friends who have different types, like try them out, see which one you like. Like you had mentioned earlier, Dano, like gutter sights, those are not really fun to shoot. Like they don't really give you that good of a sight. So,
but if you're looking for that 7 to 10 feet, which is a very common distance, you're probably point shooting anyway. At 7 feet? Would you agree or disagree?
I guess so, but I still think sights are important.
Oh, yes. I'm just saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's move it along.
Okay, let's move it along. So between the first and second segment of the show, we always like to feature someone over on Gun Channels. Gun Channels is a place that was built a few years ago for just firearms enthusiasts to get together. All sorts of different types of people over there. Got a bunch of different shows, blogs, pictures, whatever. You can do all sorts of stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to check it out. It's a pretty cool website. Make a free account and go from there. And so today we are featuring some guy in Sandy.
Yeah, he was here very early on and was kind of a regular fixture for a long, long time in the chats. I would say at least during the first year or two, maybe a little bit more. And then what happens periodically is for various reasons, people have a tendency to move along in their life in somewhat different directions, but certainly a good guy to have around, and I certainly enjoyed him when he was here.
He was the one with the little Snoopy picture, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of the right person. Yeah, I remember him. Cool dude to talk to.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. I don't know what happened to him. I hope he comes back. I see him the odd time in some other videos. I think we both commented on other videos at different times.
Yeah. Every once in a while, he'll partake in the text chats.
Yeah, definitely. So, anyways, cool dude. If you happen to see him around, say hello. So I guess that brings us to our second topic, which is gun stuff. And it is air guns for marksmanship training. So I don't know. I don't really mess around with air guns, so I don't really know if that's a valuable resource or if it's a waste of time or what.
No, it really is. It's very inexpensive, especially if you got a young kid and you want to teach them. You can teach all the safety protocols, proper gun handling, everything like that. You can do it while spending like pennies per round because it's even cheaper than shooting 22 rimfire. And it will teach you what you need to know to hit a target. Everything you do with an air rifle is pretty much identical to what you do with a real firearm. So,
does the trajectory go the same though? I mean, are you still getting the same like sight picture and everything?
Oh yeah, do you get the same trajectory with 45-70s as you do with 223s? No, but
Well, it's going to vary, like any centerfire cartridge or rimfire cartridge. It's going to vary by caliber and powder loads.
Right.
I mean, it's going to have a natural arc to it, just like anything does.
But a good quality air rifle will have real consistency. It's like every shot's pretty much going to be identical. And yeah, I mean, they're very accurate. At least most of them are extremely accurate. So. Yeah, it's really good for training and inexpensive.
I don't know about extremely accurate. Their air guns is like saying guns because they go from $17 BB guns to $17,000 fancy guns, right? So obviously a nice one that has consistency, like Bob's theorizing all of them are, then you can learn your trigger control, your breath, your consistency on shouldering it, and your the bench. You can do all the a lot of the fundamentals that way. But if the BB gun itself or the air gun is inconsistent, then you're never going to get a baseline. You're never going to learn from it. You can go through the motions, but you'll never get any feedback, I should say.
Yeah, well,
so
I
should. If it's accurate, then I don't care about the manipulation of it or the operation of it or the power of it, because just like Bob said, you can shoot 22 all day and be a better shot, but you're not going to get the recoil you would out of a real rifle. So you can still get a lot of the stuff out of it without the actual kick or real bullet.
Yeah, and I can see if you have more than one child, I can see it paying it off for the cost of it that's involved to get one that's at least adequate and repeatable as far as the trajectory and the accuracy. That if you have multiple children, it would pay for itself versus if you just have one child, then it's, one and done sort of a thing.
That's kind of making me think of something else too, that when you give a kid a BB gun, you get tons of time. I mean, a kid with a BB gun versus a kid without a BB gun, go into a firearm. That kid who's had a BB gun forever is going to be 100% more comfortable with every aspect of a real firearm. So I think you get a time on the clock that's immeasurable. Like you say, it doesn't cost much. And I remember playing with my BB guns even when I was out of BBs or CO2s. We'd still play with them. So you're going to still learn a lot of the familiarity and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, the two issues that he just won't have any exposure to are recoil and noise. But otherwise, everything else will be able to gather experience in.
Well, actually, some of the higher velocity air rifles are almost as loud as a 22 rimfire.
I think they definitely have your place, and if you have a family with several children, I think that it's even more of a viable choice in regards to getting the kids familiar with firearms a little bit sooner than you otherwise might feel comfortable.
When did Dano become anti-only child? Now
that's what I was just going to ask. Is this only for kids? I mean, what the heck?
Well, I'm thinking it from a training point of view of if you happen to have children already, that's a place that it would play a role in regards to getting your kids safe with firearms and comfortable using them. Now, if you're an adult and you want to deal with firearms, well, then obviously you earn the money, you spend it the way you want to.
So I guess the idea is if as long as it's a pretty good quality air gun, then you're still going to get some pretty good training out of it. I guess when I first asked that question, I was kind of thinking airsoft, and airsoft's almost like paintball. It's like you can learn how to shoot an airsoft gun well, but it's not going to be the same things you do with like a regular gun. At least my experience, the ones I've shot, they kind of arc, and you got to aim above where you're trying to actually hit and that kind of stuff.
They shoot.
So you almost get like bad training scars if you're used to like aiming over the target's head or something to hit it.
Yeah, they're shooting a round plastic projectile.
Right. But I wasn't thinking of kind of like pellet guns or even like the high velocity air guns. People use those for hunting and stuff. Those can be pretty expensive.
Even a $50 break barrel pellet gun is accurate. It's got a rifled barrel. It uses lead pellets that bite into the rifling, and they're quite accurate. And like I say, that's a $50, cheapo pellet gun, but they work. They're consistent. You have a lot of fun with them.
And the other aspect is that there is a difference between your typical traditional air rifle and simunitions. That they are not the same.
Well, yeah, simunition. I'm getting a little chilly. I might have to put my windbreaker on.
Oh, really?
Well, I'll let the tree fall in the direction that the guy with the eject button wants it to go. Is it time?
I don't know. Is it the end of the second segment?
I guess so. We can always come back to it as well. That's right. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time for the Tactical Pop Quiz. So those of you over on YouTube and those of you on gun channels, limber up your fingers, put your cursor down in your text box, and get ready because here it comes. Smeggy, I know you're hosting, but are you also available to assist with today's
Yeah,
show?
I got both chats open.
All right, fantastic. All right. This was submitted by CycleCamp. So thank you, CycleCamp, for sending those in. And by the way, if you have questions with noted answers, please send them to dailygunshow@gmail.com, subject pop quiz, and we will include them in the show. So thank you very much, CycleCamp. So the question is as follows. I shall read it twice. What Smith & Wesson pistol was modified to be used as a special quiet purpose weapon in Vietnam? What Smith & Wesson model pistol was modified to be used as a special quiet purpose weapon in Vietnam?
Click, 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 click.
I'm trying to find mine. Where is it? I can't. Oh, there it is.
Oh, we got an answer already. My goodness. Enrique.
A correct answer?
Yep. Enrique's got the right
Enrique,
answer.
congratulations. It is the Model 29 Smith & Wesson, which is kind of surprising being a 44 mag. I know they can use 44 special in them as well. But still, Enrique, congratulations. You are today's very quick Tactical Pop Quiz winner for today. So congratulations, Enrique.
Yeah. And I'm guessing for not having to use Google based on how fast you got that answer, that makes you the tactical hot shot of the day.
Good job, Smeg.
And Steadley was very close behind, but it did pop up first for Enrique. But just want to give him credit. He did know the right answer. He was just a little too slow.
You just called him slow.
Yes. That's exactly what I did.
All right. So from here, anybody else have any tidbits you want to throw in about air guns before we move on?
Yeah, no, I'm all right as far as that goes. Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with them, so
Yeah.
I was interested to see what you guys had to say.
Dawn.
You broke up, G-Webs.
There were no air guns used in Red Dawn.
Oh, well, then they're completely irrelevant then.
Excellent. So let's move on.
All right. Well, we'll move over. I don't know. Do we want to do one of the other things for the day or go to our third topic?
You're the master of ceremonies today, Smeg. You got it.
All right. Well, I think we'll move on to one of the other things, maybe gun of the day, to get Bob ready for that. But before we do that, I just wanted to throw out a quick promo because G-Webs probably won't do it. Seeing as he's on the road, it's kind of a mini tour, getting ready for the regular Gun Show Loophole Tour of 2017. He's got an Indiegogo set up. So if you want to put some gas in the tank or feed the doggy or whatever, help with the van, go check out his Indiegogo and give him a little bit of money. He's going to get some patches and stuff made. And I think if we get the stretch goal, then the more stuff will get made and sent out. So the more stuff he can raise, the more gas you can put in his tank, and the more trips he can go on.
One thing I think it's important to be said is, although you may see that he has reached his the goal that is stated, that as far as the further he goes beyond that, the longer and more trips can be planned in the future. That doesn't mean that, oh, he's reached the goal, now he's done.
Thanks. The goal was to get the first set of patches made and shipped to everybody, and those are done. So those will be the ones, since it's funded, everybody who's in it now will get the ones, the old last year's patch or the shirt that Smeggy wears once in a while with the dog sticking his head out the old van. And then the second patch will be the new van. And we got both of them in the works already. I've been able to do that on the road. So that part is working pretty good. Who's participating in that? Thanks, Smeggy, for mentioning it.
Yep, no problem. And so if that's something that you're interested in, check out the Gear website's YouTube channel and the Gun website's YouTube channel. He's posting a lot of stuff about the van, stuff about the trip. Keep up on the videos, thumb them up, like them, all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, jump in on the Indiegogo or even on the Patreon or something if you want to keep seeing new gun shops and new gun shows and all that stuff. I think he's doing a lot of good work. So thanks, G-Webs, for doing that.
Thank you, guys. And I've been to 3 gun shops so far, and they've all been thrilled. Said I'm not charging them a dime, and they're getting publicity out of it, and they think it's cool, and really looking forward to it.
All right, cool. So, Bob, you want to tell us about this gun of the day?
Certainly. What we're looking at today is a ZH-29 semi-auto rifle. Not a large production run.
Well, wait, I'm taking whatever call we get, and I'm changing the stupid gun of the day. Shove that down the list. Today's gun of the day is the fucking Red Dawn AK-47s. What are we talking about here?
You mean those Valmas?
Who directed Red Dawn? He decided he wanted authenticity for his movie, right? So he made Hind helicopters so realistic that the CIA contacted the company to find out where they came from. He wanted his AK-47 ultimately realistic. It was the Cold War, for crying out loud. 1984. This guy insisted on having accurate rifles, so he had Mahdi's Egyptian-made AK Russians, and depending on how you read the history, Russian AKs made in Egypt, imported here pre-1986. So 1984, he had them converted into full autos. That's like 13 AK-47s and a couple of Valmets that became PKMs. Those guns are still available. They're out there, owned by mostly private individuals, except for a couple, like the one at Copper Star, which will be one of our gun shops of the day this week. And they have the RPK that Swayze used in the movie available for rent. We shot that last year today. So, yeah, those are the ultimately important guns. He did them in '84, so they got done before the registry or the Hughes Amendment. They're on the registry. They're transferable. People own them. But before people owned them, the movie studios had authentic-looking AK-47. So we can thank Melius and Red Dawn for basically every authentic AK-47 in a movie. Otherwise, we'd be seeing stupid M16s turned into AK-47s or carbines or something stupid. That's our gun of the day.
Well, there you go.
Whatever.
That's I typed in Red Dawn AKs, and these are the pictures we're looking at. So obviously you get some weird stuff in here, but
the company that owned them sold them. It was completely documented. Another company bought them and kind of traced them out. If you do the research online, you can find out the story behind them and the movies that they were all in. They're not inexpensive.
I would imagine not. So here we got a couple of snowman, hiding in green bushes or green trees. So I'm sure that works out well. But it's a pretty nice picture of the AK.
What's the movie of the day then, Bob?
Oh, gee, I wonder what the movie is.
I can't imagine what it might be today, out of all days.
The best movie ever made?
We have a movie of the
The guy that made Conan, the guy that made all kinds of other cool movies. And like I just explained, a guy who required authenticity in his movies, built a whole street of buildings over here so that he could blow one of them up. Movie. Awesome director, awesome story. If you like guns, then do yourself a favor and look into the story of that movie. It's excellent. Came wrong just at the right time too.
Yeah, Wolverines.
Yeah, it was a good movie. No, I actually have it on DVD. I think it's pretty decent. Definitely a 2 big thumbs up, I guess, from everybody, I would imagine. Except maybe Dano. Have you even seen it, Dano? Dano, have you even seen Red Dawn?
Well, maybe you stepped away for a minute.
Oh, I think you probably just have.
I know I've seen Red Dawn, and I actually just saw it kind of recently. I was getting some flack for have not seen it, so I watched it, and yeah, it's definitely a really good movie. I like it a lot, and I like just the kind of the idea behind it of how these are just regular people, fighting back, and it didn't follow your normal like movie thing where you have like, one good guy gets all the bad guys, like whatever. It's a group of teenagers like doing the best they can fighting the Cuban and Russian army.
Yes, I've seen Red Dawn. I was busy killing a 20-legged creature. Felt like I was in Men in Black.
And this right here is one of the most iconic scenes in the movie.
So I'm going to go right after this. It's about an hour from here, I think. So it's also an ultimately American movie. These are kids that weren't sitting around prep, and they weren't fixated or, fascinated by defending the country or anything. They were minding their business and playing football or whatever they were doing. And it was thrust upon them. And like true, they saw that they were being wronged and their people were in their state and their country were being wronged. And they stood up and did what was necessary, not because they chose to or because they planned on it, but because it was required. And it's an excellent story. Totally unlike the bullshit second one that uses the same name.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one yet.
Don't bother. It's a piece of shit.
So there's a lot of violence in the world, and it turns out that if you do the research, all of that comes from people who have seen the second one with that name and hated it so much that they went out and started violence. So I would think that would be taken down.
That's all those Antifa kids. They all watch that. And on that note.
I guess so. Yeah.
So I guess that almost leads directly into gun history without changing subjects.
Today in firearms history, the best movie ever made was released to the public. It was the first PG-13 movie ever, and it inspired a whole group of people to fight against the communists. An entire generation. They say that this millennial generation or whatever the new ones are called, the tweens or whatever they are now. The problem is they never had a Red Dawn that manned us all up. That's why our generation is called the greatest generation.
Actually, your grandfather was the greatest generation.
He also saw Red Dawn.
I was made the same year Red Dawn was made. Does that count? Does that make me part of the best generation?
You were born in 1984 when Red Dawn was being made?
Yeah.
You're a little kid. You're a young one.
Yeah, but he could have been he could have been inspired by his parents watching Red Dawn and then, getting it on.
Could have been my college graduation surprise.
Well, people do say we sound a lot alike, so.
They do say that. I had a wild senior year.
Jesus. I guess the jury's still out there, Daddy.
Dang, that's scary.
No, I'm too much like my actual dad. I can't not be his. He's a big dumb dork just like me, so. Anyways, all right, so let's, I guess, jump into the third topic here, which is training, fixed blades or folders for EDC. Not quite sure how that's training if we're talking EDC, but I'm going to modify this question a little bit, although we can still talk about the difference between fixed blade and folders. But I'm going to jump out and actually do the training part of it and say, how do you train fixed blade stuff? Like, how do you actually train for using a fixed blade? Or any blade, I guess.
You can do it with blunt blades, or you can watch videos.
Just a half step further is if you're going to carry a knife as part of your defense ability, should you not seek out how to properly use it? Not just have it and then not know how to properly hold it, use it, etc. I mean, otherwise, the only purpose it serves is that of a talisman.
Well, to some extent, but I mean, at the same time, it's not rocket science. If you have a knife, you pull it out and try and hit the person who's attacking you. I mean, I agree with you that you should probably have some skills that are, I don't know, they're almost borderline like martial art type skills, right? I mean, knife work is definitely more complicated than even firearm stuff. But
I could say the same thing about a revolver. Why do you need any training? You just pull the trigger. Because it may appear simple, although to be properly prepared, it's a little bit of education and knowledge goes a long way. So you don't get it taken from you and used against you.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a concern with a knife. It's because, I mean, you're right. Well, the question was fixed blade or folder for EDC, but it was in the training section, so I changed it to how do you train for using a knife?
My answer is going to be you train for using a knife by carrying and training to use a gun, because a knife is a ridiculous theory that people have never even thought about a knife fight consider an option. But guns are completely different. You don't need to be near the person, and you can control the situation, and there's a the desperation of force is eliminated potentially. The whole Smith & Wesson made us equal thing, where knives, anybody thinks you can just pick up a knife and fight is not thinking about it or not paying that much attention to it. And a knife requires physical contact. There's nothing about it that doesn't require physical contact. And anyone bigger, stronger, just lucky, takes it from you and kills you with it. I don't see it applicable. For EDC, folder, because it's easier to carry around and it's handy. If you're out in the woods, maybe EDC a big knife because you need it for stuff. But I think fighting or preparing to have a knife fight is ridiculous. I'll never be an advocate of that.
Yep. I think we're all just sitting here stunned. I think that was pretty well said. So as far as then, yeah, answering that question, I'm going to kind of echo G-Webs. I carry a folder, but at the same time, I carry it for, cutting stuff, and I guess maybe last resort type stuff. I mean, it's still better than nothing, especially on times when I can't carry a firearm. But I also agree that, I'm probably not getting into a knife fight, and I haven't really trained to do that, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't carry a folder or a straight knife. I carry a very small Leatherman that goes on my keychain. It does have a little small knife for doing things like opening boxes and a pair of pliers and that sort of thing, but that's not part of my my ability to defend myself. At least I don't consider it part of it. Anyone else?
Well, Bob thinks that knife fighting is applicable. He even had a Sharpie marker knife to prove it.
That's right. He's got real world experience.
Well, at least he puts his money where his mouth is. Really?
Yeah.
In his butt.
That is true. I'll give him full credit for that. But he must be taking care of business, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Anything else? I need to.
Not really.
Light goes away.
Let's see. Yeah.
Did we do
Bob, are you
gun
back?
Yeah.
Anything from you want to say on fixed blade or folder for EDC?
No, I carry a folder, but that's for convenience. But well, I'm kind of like Smeggy. It's better than nothing.
So we didn't do the gun shop of the day yet today. Do we want to do this one suggested from Hottie, or do we want one that G went to?
Oh no,
today?
I got one. I just didn't put it in the chat yet, but I went over to BMC Tactical. Got their patches up there. We did some patch trading. The guys from BMC, Bob met them. When we were here in Albuquerque, they were following us on the social medias and whatnot, and let us hang out there. They let Bob camp or park his truck there, and real nice guys. They run a auto salvage junkyard type of thing, or that's where the gun shop originally came from. So they're knowledgeable about cars and stuff. So they gave me some advice on the cop car last time, and then this time helped me read my dipstick off the transmission, which has been bugging me. So ultimately helpful. They're nice guys. Their shop is doing well, which is great because a lot of the shops aren't doing so well. They do a lot of the gun shows. They do 9 gun shows in Albuquerque alone each year. So that's a big part of them, like their business. Talked a bit about the promoters out. It looks like if possible, I'm going to try to get out here, not in a couple of days, but the weekend after for an Albuquerque gun show.
Oh, right on.
The gun show that's coming in November, December, something like February or something like that. Only does a few shows a year. Sounds like a really cool promoter. So I'm hoping to get up and do an interview with that guy when his shows come back to Albuquerque. So BMC Tactical, it's on the south end of Albuquerque. It's a family-run business. The guy who owns it, his dad had a like I say, an auto shop, junkyard, salvage, auto repair type of place, and then he started up. What did he say, Bob? Like a little building up front, just FFL. It grew, it got better and better. It became a good business, thriving, and now
it's pretty much taken over the business.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's now it's a gun shop. So they're a regular full service gun shop, but they're also pretty active on social media, which is kind of neat because then you can you can keep up with what they got going on, if they got interesting sales or if they're doing something like this is their second year they're doing their calendar. So they got a bunch of girls from Albuquerque to pose to start the voting on who's going to be the cover of the calendar. So it's, activity or being active in the community, putting stuff out there that's different and interesting. It's not all marketing like some of these places. The only time you hear about them or hear from them is when they're selling something. Real cool people. So I'm glad we got to hang out with them. And I was almost going to blow through Albuquerque this morning, but I had some issues with the transmission. I'm glad I didn't, because it was definitely worth checking them out again. And like I say, hopefully I'll meet up with them again here in a week or so for one of the gun shows. So check them out online, BMC.com.
It's Dash Tactical. Yeah, I got it up on the screen right here. So BMC
Okay, so
dash
BMC Bravo Mike Charlie dash tactical, like -sign tactical.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool shop. Well worth stopping into.
Oh, I love this patch, man.
Oh, I got some of their patches. I don't think I have that one.
I love the kind of cartoony Gadsden flag. No step on snake.
Snake.
I think it should say steppy though. That's just my opinion. No steppy. Anyways.
Pretty cool.
So that pawn shop there is Gun Shop, and across the street from the Red Dawn billboard thing. So I went in there. It's the first time I was able to be here during working hours. I went in there and talked to them today. They were very cool, and let me take pictures. It's a pawn shop, so it's got some guns, but
Oh, excellent.
Oh man, they got this gun shop you're talking about here, a $200 cash rebate to all customers who purchase uppers, rifles, or pistols between 6/1 and 8/31.
And get them some sales. I don't get paid by them or anything other than trading patches with them or whatever, but they have SKS paratrooper bayonets, which basically an SKS spike bayonet for the paratrooper, the short SKSs. Those guns are hard to find. And if you have one, you probably don't have a net, because it seems like taken off by the importers or the shops or something. Anyway, this place has like a big mug full of them, like, how spiked bayonets will fit into like a cup. They must have a dozen of them or more for $10.99. That's an unprecedented price. I've never even heard of such a thing. When I see them at gun shows, they're easily $70 sometimes. So I never bought one because of that. Anyway, if you're looking for something, I'm sure that'll fit in a couple of hours worth of shipping box, and they're $10.99 or something like that. Cool shop.
All right, very cool. So, all right, I'll stop screen sharing here. Oops.
Yeah, that's excellent. It's a great shop, though. Like I said, just real nice people, and I think they're big into the cop car thing too.
Yeah, he had a cop car, got wrecked. Told us all about the what is it called? Like when the rear end is designed to crush. He was sitting on the side of the highway, 75 miles an hour. Somebody hit him. It crushed the back end of the cop car, but he was okay.
Yep. Yeah, the crush zones on the cars were quite well made.
I think it's something weird is going to fall out of the sky. It sounds noisy right next to it.
Area 51 nearby?
It's hidden in all this mist, this fog.
Oh, I think G-Webs has seen rain.
Where the heat has finally gotten to his head.
I think that happened years ago, actually. Now there's a good-looking dog.
Even Oro is looking, saying something's going on out there.
Yeah. What the heck? Oro's just trying to figure out what G's looking at. Yeah, it sucks though. No matter how close you get to that wall, you can't look up that girl's skirt.
What the heck is wrong with you, Bob? Come on.
I know you were all thinking that.
No, not really.
All right. Well, is that the end?
I think we've hit everything, yeah.
I think so.
All right. Well, I want to take a second to thank everybody again for making this stuff possible. When Bob and I started the concept of this, driving around and everything, it was kind of neat. And now that we're out here doing it again, it's definitely fun. Hopefully, we'll be able to figure out a way to package it all up so it's interesting for people and hopefully inspiring for people to get to their local gun shops to share them with people. These shops can really appreciate 50 or 60 bucks a day. I mean, a lot of them are really on the brink of going under, so any little bit helps. And right now we're obviously in a good spot in fear, but this is the time when you want to strengthen your resources. You don't want to ignore them and let them go to crap. You do preventative maintenance on a gun. You keep your skills sharp, trouble, so that when you need it, you've got those resources available. Gun shops are our... So urge everybody to go out and check out their shops. Let me know when we've got better routes and stuff, but you know the general states we're going to be in originally. And keep sending in those suggestions. We're getting a lot of them. I really appreciate that. I've got Jimmy James helping me to organize them so that we can try to put them in some kind of route, and we're aware of where they are. So, you know, going into it, we're not like Bob and I kind of going blind. We never knew. We could have passed really interesting shops. We didn't know if we were going to spend 10 minutes in one or an hour. So trying to do a little bit of prep this time around. And again, I appreciate everybody who's participating in the Patreon. Is to get that Patreon up to where I can be on the road sharing gun shops with people and then sharing the stories of those shops. Going to gun shows on weekends. I want to share some of the stories of the promoters, the people that put on gun shows, why they do it, why they still do it. Anyway, I really do appreciate all the help from everybody and the participation. And well, thanks.
All right. Well, I guess on that, we're going to wrap it up with our quote. And I think we'll use our quote from yesterday that I never actually got to finish. It was by John F. Kennedy. And that quote, I'll get to it in a sec. First, I just want to remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe. Let's get the word out. And if you like the shows and you want to support us on Patreon. And the link's at the end of the video. Anyway, the quote, John F. Kennedy. And this is quite appropriate because this is when we've got to be doing things. So the time.
Nope, following it. Nope, I'm trying to scam in a bullshit quote. We're going to go with this quote for the sale.
All right.
All right, he says, all that hate's going to burn you up, kid. And he says, it keeps me warm. That's an appropriate quote for this show. Come on, Bob, step it up.
Okay, well, I guess that's our quote for today then. So thanks everybody for watching and listening. We'll see y'all tomorrow. That's your cue, Smeggy.
Oh yeah, I'm running this thing. I'm over there on gun channels accepting friends requests and do. So all right. I don't know if anyone has the audio queued up, so I'll just say the guys and gals at Gun Websites would like to remind you to support Gun Websites and everything he does because he's totally awesome. And listen to the Daily Gun Show every single day because we're totally awesome. Thank you for watching Daily Gun Show. .gwebs.google.email.com.